Hello everyone and welcome back to the UK Koi channel. And today I'm going to be talking about a bit of a problem I've been facing recently. Now you would have seen me mention it in other videos when covering my fry, but I thought today I'd make a solo video on it just to really cover this issue in depth. Now luckily it's not a life-threatening issue to my fish, it's just a bit annoying and something that's going to be very hard to tackle for me over the next few weeks. Now fortunately this issue isn't as bad as the previous issue I had with the puncture. Now those of you who watched my videos in a while, I know back in November my pond got punctured. But just for those of you that are new to the channel and only subscribed recently, just a short summary. Last November, my pond got punctured by a tree branch and all the water got drained out, all the fish got trapped under ice, and I lost a couple of my koi. Somehow I saved all of them, but to go more in depth on that, go watch this video here, which basically covers all the topic. And luckily I haven't had any big issues restarting my pond. The pond had been set up for about 3-4 years previous to that, so obviously restarting the pond can be tricky. You know, getting all the balanced nitrates and ammonia and such can be a bit difficult. But, you know, it's been quite fine for so long. But since recently I've encountered another issue. Luckily, nowhere near as bad as the puncture. So fingers crossed I can get it fixed quite quickly. But we'll go take a look at it now. I'll just give you a brief overview of what I'm tackling. Of course, I'm not referencing this pond inside. This one's doing completely fine. Fred is still in here, although I will be putting him outside once I fix this issue. He's still as hungry as ever. But I'll be putting them, him and the Yamabuki Ogon, outside once I fix this issue, but they're still in here for the meantime. The rest of the fish in here are just fish I'm getting rid of, but we'll go look at the pond now. And here we are at the pond. Now I think the issue will smack you in the face right away. Now plants are doing really well, lily pads are, well, in full bloom. I'll give you a nice little look at these guys from just sort of at the same height that they are at. Look how beautiful they are, fully out of the water. It's perfect for the plants. You know, they're doing really great at the moment. The flowers are just absolutely gorgeous. And it's great for the fish as well, provides plenty of shade. And all the fish as well are doing really good. They're all healthy, no real health issues with any of the guys. They're doing really well. They've just finished spawning as well. The spawning season has just ended in my pond. I have about 5 or 6 females that will spawn every year. So over the course of about 2 months, I'll have continuous spawning in the pond. And then eventually it'll die out. This is good because the males in my pond like to spawn one female at a time. So I know in some ponds all the females get spawned at once, but in my pond it's a bit different. They go after one female, and then a couple of days later another female, so it takes a few months for them to spawn completely. But yeah, there's no issues health-wise with the fish, but I'm pretty sure the issue has been staring you in the face this whole time, and that is water clarity. Now, as you can see, the colour on this water is absolutely shocking. It's a very deep brown. Let me just show you with my hand here. As you can see, my hand just disappears once it goes about 4 inches underwater. It's murky as anything. Of course, as you can see, the fish are still happy. I mean, you can just touch them. They don't care at all. And I know the issue for this. This has nothing to do with the filter. Has nothing to do with ammonia or nitrates or anything like that. It's got nothing to do with anything in the pond exactly. It actually has to do with the recent weather we've been having here in the UK. Now, those of you that live in the UK will be aware that recently we've had quite bad rainstorms here at the moment. And especially where I am, we had 2 really bad flash floods, where in the course of an hour, you know, entire towns got buried in water. It was really bad, there was flooding everywhere, but you know, it was gone quite quickly. But the issue I faced with that was having an in-ground pond. Those flash floods washed a lot of dirt and a lot of sediment off the soil into my pond. And I've never had this issue in the past because we've never had floods like this before. But what basically happened was, when these floods came down, they washed a lot of sediment with them. And where my pond is positioned, being an in-ground pond, it's sort of in the natural way of the in-ground water. Now in the past, this hasn't been an issue, but we actually have a mound here. And because of this mound, when the water washes down, it's not quite under the ground yet. And what happened was, a lot of the muddy water washed straight into my pond. And now it's all full of just sort of muddy sediment in the water. Now usually this would be caught by the filter and would be washed, cleaned up in no time at all. But unfortunately the sediment that is in here is so fine, the filter just can't catch it. This is like microorganism level sediments. Luckily that means there's no health issues to my fish. In fact, the fish quite enjoy it. The muddy water is quite good for them really, because it provides a lot of extra food for them. You know, the bugs in there quite like it. But from an aesthetic point of view, it's really not desirable. I'll also put up some drone footage I got to compare the difference between the ponds before and after. As you can probably see from the footage now, this is what the pond looked like before. It was very clean, very clear, no real issues with it at all. And this is what it looks like now. As you can see, much murkier, really not very nice, and it's quite annoying really, because the pond's really just been settling again. and the fish are really starting to get happy again. So having to deal with this again is a big issue. Now, fortunately, I'm already in the process of fixing this problem. The only real way to fix it is just water changes. I've already been doing that for the past week. I've been doing 2 a week. You don't want to overdo it because you can lose all the beneficial bacteria in the water. So you have to do it at a moderate stage. But I've just been doing a slightly more percentage of the water. Usually I do like 20, maybe 10% of the water, once a week or once every other week. But recently I've been doing 40% water changes, and it has actually improved the water slightly. Now, a couple of days ago, you couldn't even see the fish unless they were right at the top. And now you can sort of see them a few inches from the bottom. So it's working, but it's just really annoying because there's no quick way to fix this issue. The only way I can really fix this is to just continually water changes and dilute down the muddy water. But that's going to take a couple months. Well, a month. It depends. If I could do a 50% change, water percent change, and it could do it a bit quicker. But I'm just worried since this pond is quite new. Obviously it's only been set up now for a couple months, that I might encounter some new sort of balance issues in the pond. So I'm just wary of doing that at the moment. But of course, I'm not too heartbroken about this. To me, all that's important is my fish are happy and fine, and they are happy and fine. They're not really bothered by it at all. It's just from an aesthetic point of view, it looks quite bad. Obviously, I want to see the fish. And of course, I'm just happy that this isn't an issue. It's going to be life-threatening to any of my fish. After the whole puncture, I was a bit down, I was a bit upset. And obviously now it's all fixed, and this issue will take time to fix, but it's not going to be ruining anything. It'll be gone. It just needs a bit of patience. So I thought I'd just cover that shortly. I'm also just going to give an update on all the fry and such around here quickly. I don't usually do updates like this, so I thought I'd just do a short one for you. First, let's go look at the Kajaku fry. These guys are about, well, how old are they now? I'd say roughly about 4 or 5 weeks. And some of them are about 1 inch long now. They're getting quite big, so I'm just going to show you them now. Now, they are currently still in this pond, but I'm going to be moving them out of here in about 2-3 days. There'll be a video on that shortly once I can get the time to sort of edit it and post it to you guys. But yeah, they are still in here, which is fine, but they need to come out of here quite soon. As you can see, it's not too small. I think it's about 200-300 gallons, this pond. With the amount of fry that there are in here, it's not ideal. I will just move this plant out of the way so you can get a better look. Just move this plant out, and as you can see, there is fry sort of darting around. There is one Toby in here, which is just another abbreviation for, a massive fry, pretty much. I'm just going to try and catch up. Actually, no, here you go. If I can get the glare to come off the water here for a second, I can probably show it to you. Here you go. It's going that way. Just darted under there with the other two. They're doing really well in here. I had people ask me about what food I'm feeding them. And to be completely honest, I have been giving them some Daphne and some brine shrimp. But the main food source has just been sort of the natural food that's in this pond. This pond is full of a lot of natural larvae and, other worms and such. There's actually a layer of clay on the bottom of this pond, which you can see all on the bottom. That's a few inches thick. And that is full of bloodworms. There's a lot of natural bloodworms in that clay. And these fry, you can see them sometimes sort of picking around. You can see them darting around at the moment. They're a bit hyper. I've sort of disturbed them. There goes the Toby again. But yeah, they're all doing quite well. So fingers crossed these will do quite, these will grow quite well. Now, in terms of quality, these guys aren't the best. Like I said in the past, if you'd have watched the video, these weren't from a controlled spawning. They were actually from just a random spawning that happened in my pond. And I managed to collect up all the eggs from it. So these guys are a real mixture, but I'm fairly certain that they are mostly Kajaku. That's just due to the fact that the majority of the males in my pond are Kajaku males. There you go, there's the Toby there. Just come out so I can get a good focus. Oh, never mind, it's gone again. Wait. Where is he? He keeps disappearing on me. There he is. Or she. Obviously, I don't know which one it is, but... yeah, like I said, the majority of the males in my pond, are Kajaku, and the female that spawned was Kajaku. So the majority of these are, well, Kajaku, but there is some other sort of variants in here that I'm not too keen, I'm not too sure on, but I want to grow them out just as an experiment, really, just to see what I can get. But yeah, these guys are all doing well. Now let's go take a look at the Sankey Fry. Now in my last video, you would have seen that I just moved them into their new home, and so far so good. I haven't had any issues with them. They've been growing slightly as well, which is quite good, and they're all sort of hard to see. They prefer to hug the lily pads, which I'll show you now. But in terms of health, yeah, no real issues at the moment. I have to pay quite close attention here, but if I move this lily pad, there you go, you can see them already. Just sort of there, that little guy right here. Now this is on the smaller side in terms of the fish that are in here, but so far I haven't seen any issues with them health-wise. They're looking really well in here, and I reckon at the moment their growth hasn't really burst or anything yet. They haven't really suddenly started growing really quickly. But I reckon over these next couple of weeks, now they've been moved over into this much larger environment, that, you know, the growth will really explode. Now, where they were before, they were struggling to grow tiny amounts, but now they're in here, I'm fairly confident there'll be no real issues. Of course, most of them are underneath this lily pad, just sort of hiding, which is fair enough. I mean, that's what little fish will do. Even if there is no natural predators in the pond they're in, they will prefer to hide, obviously just as an evolutionary trait. And once again, these guys are fed on a mixed diet of natural sort of like larvae and bugs in the pond, and daphnia and brine shrimp, which I give to them. Here's another little guy here. And yeah, on that feed, they're doing really well. There's a couple of quite large ones, but obviously it's quite hard to tell how they are doing in here. So in about a month's time, I'm going to do a big harvest, the best I can really, to catch up quite a few and just have a good sort of first selection of them really. But yeah, these guys are doing quite well. But yeah, that'll be it for today's video, guys. Hope you did enjoy. I should get the issue fixed quite quickly, so fingers crossed it all goes back to normal. But yeah, please leave a comment. I'll respond to your comments, and leave a like if you'd like. Subscribe as well if you're interested or you enjoyed the content. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.